I'm Eileen Nash. Join me every week as we meet interesting people who will teach you new, creative ways to manage stress and embrace vitality in your life. Grab a cup of tea and join me for this adventure. Today's episode is another installment of the Alternative Healing Series. You will learn about equine gestalt methodology with Anna Mott of Aloe Horses and Violet, a talented quarter horse. Welcome to Restore Your Caring Soul. My special guest today is Anna Mott, and we're in Milpitas, California, and the other special guest is Violet. She is a mare that I have worked with personally, and welcome to this show, Anna.
Thank you.
Tell everyone about this work.
So in my work, I follow the equine gestalt coaching method that was developed by Melissa Pierce of Touched by Horse in Colorado. And this method involves two coaches. One is a gestaltist, and that would be me. I went through a 2-year certification program to become a gestalt coach. And the other coach is an equine. That would be my horse. Gestalt is all about being in the moment. It's about experiencing here and now in a state of wholeness, integration. And horses are amazing gestaltists. And they live in the present moment. They are fully aware of their surroundings.
How does it work with the horses? What do they bring to this combination?
Horses are natural gestaltists. They live in the present moment, and when I work with the client, it's almost like we're three of us are in one energy bubble, and as a coach, I ask my questions to explore the client's life to the deepest level possible, to uncover those energetic blocks that are stopping them from, moving forward or living a harmonious life. Because the work is all about this experience, which is being in the moment, releasing those energy blocks, horses are the key participant in it. For the way they hold the space for the client, the way they provide the support to them, or offer healing. And they're just amazing coaches and healers.
I've experienced that here. I came for a session called Wisdom of the Mare, which is something you offer every so often people can check that out on your website. And I had an amazing experience with 2 other women. So what brought you to this work?
So I've always had this mysterious attraction to horses. I could never explain. I did not grow up with horses or had them in my life. So several years ago, I decided to solve that mystery and to get to know horses better, and I signed up for riding lessons. And being a Reiki practitioner at that time for a few years, I really could feel the energy of the horses and my energy and the connection we felt. That was so fascinating to me that I got to the point of riding through the field. And I thought, oh my God, if there was a career I could combine the two, energy healing and horses, that would be so awesome. And I started looking for a program like that, and the Touched by Horse certification program was exactly what I was looking for. And that being in that program actually allowed me to reconnect with my personal inner gifts that I had. Yes. And I'm so grateful for that. It's an incredible thing to have those gifts, and I absolutely apply them in my work with horses when I do coaching with clients. Realizing the powerful gifts that horses are willing to offer to humans was a key point for me to actually start my business, Aloe Horses. And Aloe literally translates into spiritual guide in Native American. The name just simply came to me for the business, and it reflects the mission of, the vision for the company I have that has to do with partnering with these beautiful animals as spiritual guides and assist humans in assisting them in finding what their inner gifts are and getting them to live the harmonious lives.
Where did you find and how did you find Violet?
Where did I find Violet? Violet has her own story, of course, like any other horse. And I did find her when I was still in the program, and I was just about to understand the gifts that horses were given, and to understand how to, find the right one. Violet's story is about, well, it actually was quite interesting in a way that I did see her on Craigslist. Okay, This is where I searched for horses. Yes, I know. And she's absolutely has beautiful, wonderful bloodlines and good mentality. So we got in a truck with trailer and drove to a place to meet Violet. And when we came to the pasture where she was at, the person who was selling her, she said that, okay, so this mare, we can never catch her, so we might spend some time trying to catch her. And I said, okay. And I'm being kind of new to horses at that time. I just, quietly stood at the gate, and we could see Violet just trotting towards the gate. She just trotted to the gate. We put the halter on her and let her out. And I thought in that moment, that's probably how universe tells me that is the right horse for me. So she came to this ranch, and that's where she's been at, and I've had long conversations with her. I've spent a lot of time giving Reiki to her and connecting with her, explaining to her what work I do. Now I realize I didn't have to explain to her because it's her natural gifts. I mean, that, me explaining something to a horse. I'm listening to horses now, so I totally switched after my graduation. I'm switched my perspective. These are amazing, superior beings, definitely.
That sounds like it was how you developed a bond with her. I remember you telling me that you asked her a question about what she wanted to do.
Oh yes, so it was part of our long conversations because she was new and we didn't know, she hasn't been reading before, we knew that. And I was talking to her and saying, hey, I have this program I'm in and it's a healing humans, if that's something you would like to do. And I said, you can also maybe start, writing, and she would shake her head. And I'm like, what did you just say? And I actually did not believe that first time. I had to do it second time. And in another time, I said the same thing. I said, hey, you're going to have beautiful babies. And, do this healing work if you choose to. And maybe even ride. And as soon as I get to the riding part, she shakes her head.
No way.
And I said, okay, we're done with this. And I promise, never offered this to you again. And she's been absolutely wonderful healer and part of my healing herd. And the mare that just is there for the client no matter what the client is going through. It's unbelievable the amount of support and such a large heart she's got for every person who walks in and around Ben.
Tell us about the different offerings.
The offerings are, so it's sessions that I do. And there is a way to have a private session, small group session. I also offer retreats, like multiple day retreats. So the small group sessions are also have multiple formats in them, like the one you mentioned, Wisdom from the Mare, is a women's connection circle for women only. When we work with mares like Violet, that she shares her feminine, her wisdom with other women. And I do have equine guided mindfulness group sessions, small group sessions that are open to everyone. And I'm so happy to see more and more men, not just women, coming into those groups and opening up to the messages from horses. And I also offer 4-week journeys. I call them Journey Within, as it goes much deeper. What it allows it to do, it's not only a small group, it's the same people that sign up, and the same group of people meets every week for one session. So there's a bond between the group, first of all, because now they're supporting each other. It's the same people. But there's also in a group, there is such a power as when one person is working in a round pen, the energy shift. If there's anyone that sits outside the part of the group, it's almost like the work is happening to them as well on the energy level.
I experienced that.
Absolutely, yes. there is really not much of a preparation for the sessions in a way. You know, when people come in, I do ask for closed-toed shoes just for safety to be around horses. On the emotional level, all that's being asked for is to show up with an open heart and be ready to get out of comfort zone for the healing. Although I don't force anyone to do anything, it's really, you know, for people to go through the experience. And the experience is happening whether the person goes in the round pen or not, and they're part of the group. You know, the energy is still doing its thing. So sometimes I have people, especially for the private sessions, which are great if you want to work one-on-one, you know, in a one-on-one setting and work on something else. But if it's a small group and people come, they don't even know what they come for. They're curious, they're open, they want to know what is it, but they don't know what Gestalt coaching method is and what the work is like. I have a few tools that help me to kind of start the exploration process.
Tell us about these tools.
And one of the tools that I absolutely love, it's we call the horse card deck. And it's touched by a horse card. It has absolutely beautiful images on one side and absolutely meaningful, profound messages on the other side. So I have a full deck of cards that I let people to choose one without really looking at the messages, but just to see where they are. That's one way of starting the process for the small group or the retreat.
Yeah, it's an oracle card.
Absolutely, yeah. And I also have little stones that have
messages.
Words on them. Messages. It's a one word that also is a great way to start the exploration process. Also have little sticks with the feathers and on them, and also words on them. So, and even one time I used that, and it just was unbelievable experience for everyone. It was a box of crayons.
Yes.
That just stirred the right things up in people to actually have a beautiful transformations.
We're going to go up into the ring now.
Absolutely. I think you should absolutely reconnect with Violet in the ring and share your story and your experience.
Thank you so much, Anna, for being on the show, and thank you, Violet. You're an amazing facilitator. Anna, can you explain how you guide people to work in the ring with the horses and to be close with the horse?
Because horses are large animals, we want to be safe around them. So absolutely, before each, the beginning of each session, I do a short demonstration, safety demo, how to be around horses, where we just cover, from head to toe, basically head to tail, parts of the body not coming from back, and certain things to be aware of, and also the specifics of this work.
Right.
So everyone feels safe. Absolutely, that safety is first. Absolutely, and these horses are, wonderful. Heel and her, they all know that they are here with a human to offer their gifts.
Tell me about the retreats that you offer, the types of retreats that you do working with the horse.
So the retreats I follow the same method, Equine Gestalt coaching method, and we just had a 2-day retreat here at this range, specifically at this location, where I had a guest shaman to join us. That was one good retreat with everyone really going into deep healing work. The group was amazing of women that showed up, and we did some journeys with the live drumming to the spirit of the horse.
Wonderful.
That for some people brought up more messages and more work to do,
Always.
Which amazingly, the horses showed up and helped people to release those. So I love doing retreats. I love the power of multiple days. I love the power of the group. So absolutely, I'm looking into, we already set the days for the next year.
Anna, what's the structure of a typical type of retreat?
For the retreat, it's almost similar to what the session would be like. There is an opening where I make sure that everyone feels safe and they understand why they're there, to see what's coming up for them, and to get to know each other. I loved we had multiple horses. In some settings we had a horse represent each of the direction, like west, east, south, north. We had one male horse who's incredible. He loves doing this work. He's a very powerful healer too. It's very similar to what the session is. The group session is just lasts for 2 days, and it goes deeper and deeper and allows everyone to participate and get to the very deepest level. And the first day is, especially the first morning, is something that as soon as one person gets into the right place, everyone else does. It's just incredible, the energy.
They sort of drop into the container that
Absolutely,
you've created.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. If someone wants to experience this equine Gestalt method and they don't live in the Bay Area, where can they find another coach?
So we have many graduates in this program, and we're actually very, very strong team, herd, we call ourselves. On the Touched by a Horse website, so it's touchedbyahorse.com, there is a link to the certification program and to the list of the certified practitioners. So I would just invite everyone who wants to experience this type of work, either fly out to Bay Area to one of my sessions and experience it, but go out and find the practitioner in your area and go and experience this work. It's absolutely incredible. It's so powerful. The transformation is priceless.
And it's hard actually to put into words
It is
what happens, because some of it's sort of unconscious, but then there's a knowing that can occur.
Right, and you have done this work, so I absolutely invite you to share about your experience. But it's something to remember, it's experience. It's so experiential in the moment that's what's actually very attractive about this work. That you don't have to prepare much. You show up with open heart, you show up with no expectations, but ready to step out of a comfort zone if needed and just be open. Because they are creating this space for people. Absolutely, and the healing and the right stuff. And if you would like to kind of reconnect, which you are connected at the moment,
I think I have.
but if you just want to spend a few moments just by yourself and Violet in this ring right now, just being with her, just being by yourself. And then share when you feel ready, just share about your experience you had a few weeks ago when you joined my Wisdom from the Mayor Women Connection Circle.
I'd love
How
to
does
do
it
that.
sound? Okay, I'm gonna leave you, and we've done the safety demo with you, so you remember how we
Yes.
run the horses.
I was very excited when I first met Anna, and she agreed to be on the show. I've had a lot of curiosity about working with horses, and I have friends who have had extremely powerful experiences. So I came for the session called Wisdom of the Mayor. It was a several-hour session, and we worked outside of the ring, and women went through their stories, and then when it was my turn, we were exploring a story, and we came into the ring, and I did not know what to expect, but I had an amazing experience. And one of the things that Violet did, first we put to bed some portions of myself that were about shame, but then we moved on then, and I realized how small that really is, and I don't need to stay there. So then there was a rake in here, and Violet came over and she started stomping on it, and it came right up and it sort of popped into my hand. And I was remembering when I talked with Stephen Farmer in Sedona, and he talked about the knight, the archetype of the knight, and how he shows his sword because this is his power in the world. And I said, well, this is my sword. And then when I was talking and about really what is my sword, because I don't carry a sword in everyday life. And then I realized, and Violet had walked away from me. She was walking in a circle. And I said, oh, my computer is my sword. And she came over and she came right close to me and looked me in the eye, like as a confirmation. Because she can't say, oh yeah, your sword is your computer. And it turns out it is. I use it in my professional life. It's how I do my pharmaceutical development job. And it's also how I make this TV show. So that was really powerful. Then another moment, we were standing here in the ring, and I had this hat on, but it had a great big peony on the front. And I wasn't scared, but she kept pulling at my hat, and then she pulled it off, and then she was like, and I think what I got out of that was she wants me to be me and not someone else. And my own brand of healing that I bring into the world and creativity. And I'm very grateful for the experience I had with this horse, and I would highly recommend it for anybody who has any interest to work with the horses. I have a friend, a Color of Woman person, and she works with veterans, with the horses. It's just an amazing experience. You gonna give me the eye, Violet? On the next episode of Restore Your Caring Soul, meet Susan Mokelke, a contemporary shamanic practitioner. She will explain core shamanism.